The Zoom thing does weird things to my hair.
It's Zoom's fault.
It is, hey,
Hi.
this is not a hairstylist podcast.
It is.
No, no, this is the Off the Cuff podcast with me, Justin DeWeese, my unbelievably beautiful wife, Ashley DeWeese. She got her hair did this week. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about hairstyles, but look at that.
It's always a bonus because after going to the hairdresser, the curls last, a
It
few
is
days. So
banging.
for a few days, I look put together.
Well, hey, listen, we'll take what we can get.
We do.
And you're smoking hot. So,
Thank you.
hey, random question.
Okay.
Were you a Sesame Street kid growing up?
I
Did you
did
watch
watch
Sesame
Sesame
Street?
Street.
For whatever reason, today in my head, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and they all had fun
I don't remember that one.
at the Ladybug picnic.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. How can you
I
forget
remember
that classic?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's one I
Uh-huh.
know.
Yeah. Good times, Sesame Street and their childhood propaganda.
I thought maybe you were gonna ask me which character I related with the most.
Okay. Which character do you relate to the most?
Apparently, Oscar the Grouch.
No way. I'd have never guessed.
I'm tired. I'm really tired.
It's been a week, man. First full week of full days of school for the kids, so they're a little crotchety when they get home. All the life things happening,
Soccer practices, volleyball practices,
cross
cross
country
country practices.
practices.
Up early, up later than we typically are,
Yeah, it's
which is not late. I mean,
yeah,
our ideal bedtime is 8:30. Now it's more like 9, 9:30.
10 o'clock on soccer nights,
Yeah,
which not a fan,
not a fan.
but
There was a time when my dad, it's not completely apples to apples because I don't believe he was as uh, busy as we currently are, but uh, he would like want to go to bed at like 8 or 8:30, and sometimes he would, and I was like, I don't, I don't get it. Like this is lame, and now I kind of get it.
well, listen, there was a point in my life where it was like, what am I doing going 11? I must be some sort of
Mm.
loser. And now it's like, why would I stay up that late?
Well, to be honest, though, if it were not that with all we have going on and whatnot, we getting up so early, and then what we have going on during the day and afternoon and evening. Um, if it weren't for the fact that I genuinely, by that time of night, am tired, I would want to stay up a
Sure.
little bit later, just because. And I've always enjoyed nights, like even when I was younger, but I think even more so now, like as a parent, like the early mornings and then the late nights, it feels like some of the only time where you don't feel pulled,
Sure.
like someone else needs you. So if I, whatever I want to do, like I don't, not that you have to feel guilty for doing things for yourself during the day. I'm just saying it's easier to just do whatever the hell you want
Well, there are fewer
at that
obligations.
point.
No, I get it.
And so sometimes I'm ready to go to bed at 8:30 or 9, but I'm a little sad too because I'm like, oh, I kind of want to stay up and read, or I kind of want to stay up and do this or do that. But sleep prevails.
Yeah. Well, rest is important.
It is important. Sometimes you just get as much as you can of it, which
Right. Take
isn't
it where you can get
always
it.
the amount that you want.
Doesn't seem like it's ever the amount I want, but here we are. But the other thing that we got going on, we have completed our third week of volleyball coaching. And I just want to say for all you lovely listeners out there, the tens and tens of you, that
By the way, can I pause you real quick? Just real quick. Don't forget what we were going to talk about. I just wanted to say that yesterday, as I was scrolling through our memories on Facebook,
uh-huh.
again, so thankful for Facebook memories. Um, it was yesterday was the post that I made that was like, hey, if we were to start a podcast to talk about X, Y, and Z,
Oh yeah?
would any of you listen? Yeah. And here we are.
And look at the 10 of you. Here you are.
I
So
don't think
thankful.
it's only 10.
I
We
don't either.
don't even know who actually listens or not. I mean, we know a few people do because
Because you guys do a shit job of commenting on the posts. Follow instructions.
but we can obviously see the insights of how many people have listened to an episode, etc. And so somebody's listening, but I don't really care. We've been showing up consistently week after week to put these out, and I feel like there's value, even if it's just to us as we do it. So,
You know what we
anyways,
need to do? We need to hire one of those AI farms that like listen to your thing on repeat on Spotify so it bumps up our numbers. Get to the top of the list.
but
We'll
anyways,
be on like Entertainment Tonight.
okay,
That'd be awesome. Anyway,
unpause.
I
First,
just
third week of
third
volleyball,
week of volleyball coaching. She's the head, I'm the assistant because
obviously.
obviously. Um, but I just want to say to all you tens and tens of listeners that I am so proud, so impressed, and so inspired by the job that this one is doing
Aw.
as the head volleyball coach. Like, I said it to her in a text message. I said it last night in front of the family at dinner table. I'm saying it in front of the world that's listening to this podcast now. It's been nothing short of jaw dropping.
Why?
This because it's a challenge. It's outside of your comfort zone. It's not um
Well, it's not like I've not coached before.
I
Which, by
understand.
the way, when I first started teaching back in 2001,
Oh, go on. Sorry, I had something in my throat.
I was the assistant freshman volleyball coach. And then the following year, I was the head freshman volleyball coach and also helped out a little bit with the varsity squads, which is
Which,
like, I have no idea.
FYI, in our 16 years of hanging out together, has never been brought up, has never
And
been disclosed. So,
I feel like it's
if
coming
you
up.
ever hear her say, "Oh, well, you don't tell me everything," feel free, again, follow instructions, comment on the post, and be like, "Oh, Ashley, remember when?"
I feel like it's come up,
It
but
hasn't.
nonetheless.
I would not forget something like that.
So, anyways, did that specifically with volleyball. And then I, started and coached the high school dance team here in town, which some people have somehow forgotten that I founded, but that's a story
I
for
haven't forgot
another
that
day.
because that one you did actually tell me.
But anyways, I have coached youth before.
Yes,
But
I'm
yes,
aware
so yeah, so why I just am curious, like why it's been so jaw-dropping for you.
because just from, my time with you, I've not seen you in that role.
True.
Okay. So, for all I know, you were like the Bob Knight of high school volleyball freshman coaches, throwing chairs, cursing at girls, making them cry.
Just want to make sure that we are authentic here. You have seen me coach volleyball because I was the assistant coach at the school last year,
Yes,
and I was
assistant,
an assistant coach
assistant,
Ayla's very first club volleyball
assistant,
2 years ago. So,
assistant.
yes,
So you're not running the show.
you have not seen me in
So,
action running the show as the head coach
right.
of a
Which
volleyball team.
brings a certain amount of additional pressure
It does,
and whatnot.
for sure.
Right? So okay. Again, I'm not denigrating your past experiences. I'm just providing some color.
I was just trying to share,
Yes.
like, so people, yeah. Anyways.
Anyways, so now you're the head coach. And so you're responsible for planning practices and communicating with parents and putting together this meeting, organizing that meeting, all the things. It can be a lot.
Yep.
You've handled it very well. You have amped up your level of self-organization, which that in and of itself blew my mind because I love this girl and she's a go-getter and she's ambitious. She's got big dreams. Organization and scheduling, not necessarily one of those dreams all the time.
Well,
Fair.
that is fair. And when other people are involved, it puts a little bit more pressure on you to get a little bit more organized. And
Right, of course.
specifically, even more so, I learned from my days of teaching in high school, it is even more important to be organized when you are working with high school students.
Because if you go in winging it, man, they're going to eat you alive.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever need to like test your confidence, work on any skill whatsoever, just go do the thing in a group of high school students, and they will be your best place to grow.
So, all those things. I'm also very impressed with how far you've brought this team in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I just, I'm wowed and awed by you, my love.
It's been really cool. I don't necessarily know a ton about the history of our high school team at the school because not that not that we don't pay attention to the varsity sports at the school, but like you tend to pay more attention to the
Sports your
where
kids
the
are in.
sports your kids are in and the teams that your kids are on. So I didn't have a depth of knowledge of I didn't even know like, what the volleyball record has been in the past or how the coaches have coached things or anything like that. And as we talked about to the girls on day one, we let them know like, hey, we don't really know any of that. And to be honest, a lot of that doesn't really matter
Right. It's
because
just back there.
we're
We're up
here
here.
and we're moving forward. And so it has been really exciting to, I think for us and for them, just to go in with like a clean slate almost.
Yeah.
Um, and say, here's the vision we have, here's what we want to do, here's, the role we need you guys to play, and what you guys want for the season. And it's just been really, really exciting. And I also think, and this goes not just for youth, but for any human beings. Um, it is such a blessing when you have the opportunity to work with the willing,
Right.
right? Like when you have the opportunity to work with people that want to be on your bus and that want to go where you want to go, it makes the job a lot easier.
Absolutely.
And, we do have a group of 11 incredible young women that we get to work with who have so much potential and so much talent inside of themselves that it does make the job a little bit easier in some regards. And, I think one of the things that in addition to just my love for volleyball and my love for coaching in general, I think that our young women of today just need more female and male role models who are fosters of growth in not just their athletic abilities, but in their character and their values
Right.
and who they are. And, it was interesting. We had the girls, I don't know if I think I did talk to you about this a little bit. At the very beginning of the season, our first meeting, I had them fill out a form to give me a little bit of background on them, like, hey, what positions have you played before?
What are your
What do you
strengths? What are your weaknesses?
et cetera.
Yada, yada.
But in some of the additional questions that I ask, what was consistent through all of them was they really just sought relationship and community. They're each one of them in their own way put down on their paper something that had to do with wanting to have better relationships with their teammates and be a part of something. And that stood out to me right off the bat. One, because I can relate to it.
Right.
I think all people can. And two, as a female and as a mother of a daughter, I just see more and more some of the challenges that our young women have to face these days, and they're not always new challenges.
Right.
Some of them I experience the same things, but I think we have so many more elements in today's world that our young women, more than not, are just kind of really starving for people who truly care about them as individuals. They want to feel seen, they want to feel loved. They want to feel like they have someone who is invested in them. And
Yep.
so I know, like I said, obviously I'm the female in this connection, but I do believe that you, as the male assistant coach, are providing already like a great kind of like caretaking role in this. Justin does more of the, when kids are hurt or sore or different things like that. He's engaging with them in that capacity to find out what's wrong and how can we help, fix this or improve this or get you better. And I just have really, I've enjoyed like seeing you develop those relationships in a different way with these girls. And I think they need a combination of both of what
Right.
we offer.
Well, and that's why we are a power couple, my love,
Couple on
because
say it.
if you've worked with us, and I know some of you that listen have, you understand her coaching style is a little more, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. We're gonna move forward.
With love, typically.
And I'm more of a, hey, let's look at this from different angles and figure out some things. And I'm a little good cop, bad cop dynamic, so to speak, without maybe the unnecessary violence. But yeah, no, I think we complement each other well. I think we've uh, really started to find our groove.
Yeah.
But I didn't bring this up just to blow smoke up your
Okay.
ass. Okay? As
We
much as I
appreciate it.
enjoy like lifting you up and celebrating you, that's not what this is all about. I was curious, and I think our fine audience would also be curious. What are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned about yourself, about doing this sort of thing over these first couple weeks that you haven't already talked about? Obviously, you talked
Yeah.
about the need for,
I think one, just a reminder of your ability to figure it out. Clearly we talked on another episode about how we came into this position and some of the concerns and hesitations that I had,
right?
and whether or not I was even going to throw my name in the hat, as well as once it was offered up, those things. And so I think I've definitely been reminded that just making the decision and commitment, um, and stepping into action, everything will take care of itself. Just too often in things in life, we stay so much in our head, right? We want to do so much
Right,
thinking and praying and considering before we take the necessary action. And more often than not, like you just need to take the action
right,
because the way I put it to clients at times is like once you take the action, then you're in it, right?
right,
So you don't have the option really to like back out in a lot of situations. Like you're in it. So you're
right,
forcing yourself, I've got to figure this out, or I've got to level myself up. I have to become the person who can do the task in front of me. And so I think that this has just been, again, a reminder of that. Number two, it's been a reminder of how we downplay our strengths and abilities, how we can talk ourselves out of the very credibility that we've spent years building for ourselves, as we talked earlier, like the different, you know, direct and indirect ways that I've coached and played volleyball and taught and whatever. But yet somehow I felt like I was not qualified for
right,
this position,
right.
And so it's just been an example of that. Um, I think another lesson is understanding that sometimes it has nothing, or the most important thing isn't about what your specific credentials are, but what's more important is how much passion and actual care do you
Right.
have about the thing you're going to do. Um,
That's the big one.
and I believe that, with some of the parents and administration and even the girls who have given feedback after our initial practices and our first outing last weekend, a couple of things that popped up was about the the fire and excitement that they could see in the girls, that they were like that it's just so amazing to like see that. And then also a couple comments regarding it being cool to see how passionate I am about coaching these girls. And so it's just been a reminder or highlighted that yes, sometimes we need to have certain skills or certifications or whatever, but more so than anything, do you have a strong passion and love for the thing that you're stepping into? And oftentimes that trumps, I mean, I will take that any day. For our kids, I would rather have someone involved with them in their life that was invested in them and passionate about what they were doing, as opposed to someone that wasn't, but yet had all of these
Right. No, right
accolades
now,
and
I would
skills.
much rather have you coaching Ayla's volleyball team than someone that has a PhD in volleyball. I
Yeah,
know it's not a real thing, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, that doesn't really care about coaching the sport.
right,
Like, you care about coaching volleyball, you care about teaching these girls the right way to play volleyball, and you care about growing these girls
right. Just as
as
people,
just human beings.
right,
And that to me is one of the things that often gets overlooked in coaching, especially sports coaching of kids teams. And we're fortunate that we have found over and over again situations for our kids to be in where the teams that they're on actually do care about that extra layer and not just, hey, show up and perform on the field or the court.
right. And that I would tie back to the drum that we bang over and over again on the importance of you making your own individual growth a
Right.
priority, because it is for the reason, like it is because, in my mind, like it is because of the fact that we have been on this journey of personal growth in our life, that when our children are trying out for teams or getting involved in activities, like that's something that we pay attention to.
Right.
We are not just about like, oh yeah, like whatever team you make or whatever, like something that we take into consideration about what they're trying out for or what we're saying yes and no to. This aspect of, you know, what do they do by way of mindset? What are the philosophies of the coach or the coaches involved? What kind of parents and kids are going to potentially be on this team? We take all of those things into consideration when making decisions about what our children are going to play and be involved with. And I do believe that if we had not been on this journey ourselves, that would not have been something that was such a high level priority for
Oh,
us for
agreed.
them.
Agreed. And like the reality is, I would rather our kids, and again, this goes back to because we've been on this journey, so we have this perspective of it, but I would rather our kids be on teams that develop more of that whole person versus teams that go and win every tournament championship game that they're in.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, and I can't see the future. So, can I tell you exactly what's going to go down as far as how far in their athletic careers our kids are going to go? No, I can't. Um, but the reality is a very, very, very small percentage
There's
of young athletes are going to go on to play collegiate athletics, and an even smaller portion of those kids are going to go on to play professionally. And so when you're looking at what matters most during their youth in regard to the teams that they're a part of and the coaches that coach them, of course, because when their career is over, for many of them after high school or at best after college, what are they left with? They will be left with the skills or things that have developed in them as a person, not, oh, hey, like we won 50 championships over my lifetime, but I'm a piece of crap as a human, you know?
Yep.
And then I did want to say one more thing as far as
Yes.
learning for myself. And I don't know if you, because I would be curious as to a couple of the things that maybe you've learned about yourself in this role, because it is a tag team thing. Um, but also, and I think any scenario like this, especially when you're working with young people, holds up a mirror to yourself. Um, I have to be, well, I don't have to be. I could choose not to and then create damage because of it. But I believe it's very important to me to be very self-aware as I coach these girls. I have to be thoughtful about my choice of words. I have to be thoughtful about my body language. I have to be thoughtful about how I'm going to approach the entire team, individual players. Um, it causes me to slow down and do maybe a little bit more thinking before I do things. And in times where maybe I didn't do so much thinking, or it was just like I said something or I did something, even if I choose a drill that doesn't go so well, right? Like the ability to say, oh, hey, like I didn't mean this. Here's what I actually meant. The ability to apologize and say, I'm so sorry that that came across that way. Let's talk about this. Um, just a lot of those different things. A position like this is a mirror. And it is definitely helping me to be aware of a lot of things I'm already aware of and work on them, as well as just showing myself too where I've grown. Because I definitely think in coaching this team, I'm better equipped mentally, emotionally, and skill wise to be a great leader for them than I would have in any other years prior.
Sure.
So,
Well, for me, the big one is, like you were saying, underplaying what you can contribute or underestimating perhaps what you can contribute. Because I love the sport of volleyball, but I'm a dude in Kansas. And so once I got past sixth grade, there was no opportunity for organized volleyball at all. There was intramurals at high school and whatnot, but that's just like you get five of your buddies and you go play and there's no coaching. You don't understand the tactics, blah, 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 blah. Um, so when she got the head job and she's like, and you can be my assistant coach, I was like,
it
I mean, okay, I'm really good at yelling, hustle.
was really more because I wanted like
Right.
my
It's her emotion
my
support
support
bicep.
bicep. By the way, look at that. Look at the McLaren vein coming out.
But no, I mean I can see, and not to like toot my own horn, but I can see the impact I'm having on some of these girls and some of the junior high girls just from the short week that we coach them. Um, so yeah, the underestimating part. The other thing, and this goes back to not necessarily having the knowledge to do the thing that you want to do. We live in the world of Google and YouTube
Right,
and whatever. Like the amount of time we spend like looking up things and learning things online right now to better do this job. Like you have no excuse to not go do the thing you want to do because all the education's out there.
right.
You just got to go get it.
And I just want to throw out there because yes, we are absolutely not trying to like discredit or knock people who do have official
Of
credentials,
course not.
right? Because
Proud of you.
definitely, right? But at the same time, I don't think it's always required. Yes, in the best of both worlds, would in any area that you're talking about, fitness and nutrition, coaching athletics, whatever. In the best of both worlds, do you want someone who is like highly educated with all the skill sets as well as able
Of
to develop
course.
mindset and have emotion and connection and whatever? Yes, in ideal sense, but often that's not the case.
Right.
And we're just trying to say that it is possible for someone with life experience, but not
Right.
actual credentials to come into something and be successful at it
Right.
simply on those things alone and with the knowledge that we have available
And
to
unless
us.
you're a doctor, lawyer, an accountant, if you have a college degree, you probably like, yeah, no, I feel that because I have this college degree that I don't use in the least, but I do all these other things at a high level. Um, and then the final thing is I've learned to your point about self-awareness, I've learned that I'm capable of working with high school girls without popping any of their heads off. I really want that,
Same.
that was
Same.
kind of,
Same.
that was up in the air,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's gone actually pretty well.
Well, and the other piece about this being like a great duo and whatnot, I think it's been, again, like we each kind of have our role to play. We know where the other is strong and where the other, like, that's not their wheelhouse. And so it's been great to kind of divvy up those responsibilities in that capacity because I think that serves not only us, but specifically the girls the best. But I also love what you bring to the table in regard to, you did play ball at the next level. So you have experience in that capacity, which is where some of these girls want to be going. But you also have a little bit more, quote unquote, like checkered past than I do, right?
Sure, because I tell her everything. Lord knows what's in the background. I mean, apparently she coached high school volleyball at some point.
I'm
Who
just
knows what
saying,
else is there?
like when it, and not even just checkered past. I shouldn't have said it that way, but
But no, it's accurate.
right. But in addition to that, not just that, but you have, and I have experiences with it. We both have experiences with like athletics or activities where, we didn't make the cut
Right.
or we were done, quote unquote, wrong.
Right.
Or we didn't get to the level that we thought we would or whatever, and we had to go through this or that. And so I definitely think that that is also an important element. And for you in particular, to be, because you played at the next level, I think it gives an additional like notch on your belt of credibility. So I've loved what?
And I just I got a lot of notches on my belt. That's
You do
all.
have a lot of notches on your belt. Um,
Because I've lost weight. People don't get dirty with it.
no, but I think it's cool, a cool reminder of how sometimes things in our life that maybe we've seen as failures, as times where we messed up in life, how that comes back around. And
Right.
that's, I think, to bring him into the picture, I think that's the cool thing that God does for us is he puts opportunities in our path that we didn't necessarily like write down as, hey, this is on my plan, this is on my vision, but he puts opportunities in our past where he can use us, right? He can use us to serve and better others, young and old, with our life story, even the pieces of our life that we maybe sometimes have wanted to hide from, avoid, not share, not continue to talk about or whatever. But he puts things in front of us where we can use those things to be very powerful to those people that are in front of us.
Yep.
So,
What a great way to wrap up this power-packed episode.
so cheesy.
Well, you know what? Listen, sometimes you gotta be a silly goose. I like being a silly goose.
Oh my goodness. Anyhow, we're going to jet because we do have practice this afternoon, which means we have some prepping and planning to play. And we also have
And it's
businesses to
only a
run
matter of
and
time before
jobs
she
to do.
sees this spider that's on light and freaks out.
Oh, wow. If it was
Huh?
bigger, I'd freak out. Like I'm not super freaked.
Oh, now I'm hoping it jumps at her.
I actually am also going to see if this one will find some time in his day just to like sit and do nothing with me because we haven't had a lot of that time this week and I miss it.
Stay tuned. You
See you
never
guys.
know.